Last time on Storytime with JK, I was living in Los Angeles, but now I'm not. Care to find out how that happened? Hello and good day, fellow adventurers. My name is J.K.Winders, but you can call me JK. For those of you that are not up to speed, I'm regaling you with my personal life's memoir and the overall story of how I got to where I am now, whilst giving my RV an interior facelift. I've been super hard at work motoring away, making so much progress on this puppy, and surprise, I'm working with a new color. If you haven't seen part 1 of my story, I encourage you to stop this video, go back and find that video, watch it, all of it, and get caught up to where we're at now. Otherwise, I'm ready to get back into the story if you are. In 2015, after almost 3 years of living in Los Angeles, and after an immense amount of thought and consideration, I came to the realization that it was finally time to leave the great city of angels. Though actually looking back on it, there wasn't that much thought or consideration. It was a pretty easy decision, if I'm being completely honest. After finally taking the plunge and deciding to vacate the city in my modest little Mazda 626, I was left with the decision of where to go next. And that was actually kind of the beauty of it, that I didn't have to decide on one place. I really felt like the entire world was unlocked to me. And so I decided to go everywhere. I did upgrade from that Mazda 626 as well. As I've already stated, I quickly became an adventure junkie. And I had photography as a way to be able to document and capture all these different adventures and places that I'd only dreamt about going up until this point. I really was the type of person that had a suitcase in at least 5 different places that I would just come and go between over the course of the next few years. I also made it an effort to figure out a way to make this lifestyle sustainable. I started picking up plenty of odd jobs for tourism bureaus, businesses, the occasional weddings, and all in all, my efforts proved to be rather fruitful. This one's in the wrong slot. My life at this point couldn't have been better even if I had dreamed it. Dreamt it? Dreamed it. Dreamt it. Dreamt it. Even if I had dreamt it, I was roaming and traveling and adventuring full time, full speed ahead, with absolutely zero intention of slowing down. I was in San Francisco doing a job for a Silicon Valley company. And something happened. Basically, I learned the hard way that you should not order seafood on a Monday in San Fran. What I thought was going to just be a brief case of mild food poisoning turned into several months of chronic nausea, extreme fatigue, and a compilation of symptoms that left many practitioners perplexed. For almost a year, I was bedridden, I really couldn't eat anything, and I ended up losing almost 15 pounds. Which, look at me. I don't have 15 pounds to lose. It was a very crippling time for me because I didn't really know what was wrong with me, and I couldn't go out and do the things that made me feel alive. After months of being utterly stir-crazy, I finally said enough was enough. I built up the energy to get out of bed, hop in the car, push past my symptoms, and make my way toward a destination that was still at the top of my bucket list. Jackson Hole, Wyoming was the best place to give my body, mind, and soul a jump start. It was enough to fill me up and make me feel like I wasn't withering away anymore. It made me feel like me again. It made me feel alive. It was that place that reminded me of what I needed to get back to. From that point, I was determined to start getting better, whether my body was up for it or not. I made an effort to maintain a better diet, to care for my body better, and to also travel and adventure in a more practical way. I didn't need to push myself as hard or as fast anymore. I could take things slow and savor the experiences that were laid out in front of me. And thank God I learned that then, before what was to come. Also, this is the last somber, true Hollywood story moment of the story. It's about to get good, I promise. Autumn of 2017, and I'm finally almost back to feeling somewhat normal. As a cherry on top, I get my first photo gig across the pond in Berlin, Germany. I'm in the midst of prep mode for this gig. My dad comes to me and mentions, you've never been to Europe. You've never done Euro travel. Why don't you extend this trip and make it a bit of a Euroscursion? To which I respond, why don't I? And then I proceed to begin planning my greatest adventure yet. 2 months in 7 different countries by plane, train, and ferry. Yeah, that was a great trip. I traveled by train for the first time. I saw the Matterhorn. I spent my birthday in Venice. I rode on the back of a motorcycle through Nice. I got a little tipsy off €5 Bordeaux under the Eiffel Tower. And people in Ireland actually thought I was actually Irish. Until I opened my mouth, of course. It was the very definition of a trip of a lifetime. That is until the next one came around. And then the next one, and then the next one, and then the next one. In the course of less than 2 years, I visited over 20 countries and spent almost half that time in Europe working for different organizations and businesses and exploring as much of the continent as I possibly could. I was getting the opportunity to experience the cultures, the places, and to capture the sights that I had at one point only dreamt of capturing. My time in Europe really was a dream come true, and life really couldn't have gotten any better. But one thing that I think is worth noting about my personality, one flaw, so to speak, is that I can get complacent very easily, nor am I easily satisfied. Man, except with this color. I mean that in the sense that I'm constantly thinking about the next big thing for my life. Where's the next destination? What's the next project? What's the next experience that's gonna help me grow and be better? Even while traveling through Europe, as big as an experience as that was for me at the time, I was constantly thinking, what's the next big thing? So what is the next big thing? Find out on the next and final episode of this thrilling saga of Storytime with JK. Oh, and I'm finally getting a haircut tomorrow. So things are about to get real spicy. Cheers, friendos.